Our next presenter is going to be sharing something I think is really critical. And this is, as a distributor, you know, we get into our business and we'll be very, very excited and we'll be doing what we do. But as a distributor, to really create that solid income stream, you have to move from being a distributor to being a leader, because people need leadership. I'll just say that again. People need leadership. And so for those who really want to make it big in our industry, you got to look at the leadership piece. And now everybody doesn't want to. I always have my old friend Andy, and Andy was a network marketer, and Andy never made more than $400 a month in any network marketing program. But Andy loved the people, and $400 a month was a big thing for him. So everybody doesn't have to run out to become a leader, but to really make money at this business, to really create a legacy income, leadership is important, because many people need leaders. And if you're that kind of leader that can help a person achieve their goals, you can work miracles. I think John Paul Getty said he would rather have 1% of the salaries of 100 people than 100% of his own. And so leaders are the ones that can help people achieve their dreams. And so our next presenter is Paula Rowlands. And Paula is an integrative nutrition certified holistic health coach. For the last 5 years, she has been an integrative nutrition certified holistic health coach. And that means she understands what she's talking about. She's a certified alpine professional ski instructor for over 30 years. And she's new to LifeVantage. She's been in LifeVantage about 18 months. But let me tell you something. After having taken it, and she stopped taking Protandim about 3 years ago, she said she had to get back on the product and get into the business. A Michigan native, transplanted to Colorado, and she currently has teams building in Michigan, Colorado, Alabama, Florida, and Mississippi. And Paula is a Pro 5 in our industry, which means she's getting ready to make some serious money. So let's take it over. Paula Rowlands, take it over.
Good morning. Thank you, Herbert.
You are quite welcome.
I'm really honored to be asked to share some tips from what I've experienced so recently and kind of unexpectedly. I'm stepping into phase 2 leadership in my LifeVantage. It's not something I was really prepared to do. When the opportunity to move into it came to me, I started out really, really slow. I got super sick. I took Protandim several years ago, and then I stopped taking it. I didn't notice any difference. I was real healthy. And 3 years later, I got my own autoimmune disease, which was great because I was trained in thyroid diseases, and I got my own just to experience it. And over the course of 4 months, I was getting better really slowly and spending a lot of money doing it. And I contacted the person who I had purchased the product from originally and said, so what have you got on thyroid? And she said, you just have to try it and see. So I thought, well, the health coaching thing, I know residual income is a kind of a big deal. I really should be thinking about it. So I jumped in. And I started really slow. I said, you know, I'm really sick. I had spent the last 4 months on the sofa, my husband wondering what the heck was happening to me. And said, I just have to do this slowly. My health is my top priority. And I'm not going to go gangbusters. So I'm not that person. My why was different then. It was helping the world and changing, you know, everyone's lives. Well, it's pretty glorious, but it's also pretty general. I met somebody after about a year. I met somebody in a network marketing group of social media marketing, and we just kind of hit it off, and this kind of generated some interest with her, and holy cow, completely changed the trajectory of her life, of my life. And we unexpectedly hit high speed in the summer, just when we were told it was supposed to be slowing down. And it was really cool, and it was wild. It's been a roller coaster ride. And so really, I was working with 3 distributors up until May So that's a year and a couple of months. And suddenly now I'm responsible for leading over 30 people all over the world, well, all over the country. We're not out of the country yet, but we're getting there. So I wanted to tell a little bit about that and how I navigated that, and hopefully you'll get some tips from that. And the first thing I want to start out with is the 4 phases of network marketing. We all start in phase 1, and they talked about that earlier. And that's building your foundation, your list building, you're inviting, you're enrolling, you're connecting, learning about the business and the system and the culture, and vision and goal setting, your why and your action steps and your experience building. And then I was not really aware of this. Okay. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. And that's when your sales volume and your paychecks start to get more consistent, and you start actively building your team and your emerging leaders. And this is also when 80 to 90% of those people in network marketing actually leave the business. Oh, well, then there's phase 3, and you've seen these kind of people up on the stage. The big money starts to show up even beyond the making a living, and you have the layered leadership with your leaders downline running more independent organizations. And phase 4 is where you're really living in wealth with a sustained financial creation, and your distributors, you have big pockets of distributors who are leading their large groups successfully, much more independent. Well, I was not prepared for that. Why would you want to go from a phase 1 distributor to a phase 2 leader? Well, from those phases, you can see if you can't grow, your teams can't grow. And if you can't grow your teams, your business won't grow. And you don't even see phase 3 and phase 4. And then also the needs of your organization just changed, and they're growing, and you get to change too. And if not, you become part of that 80 to 90%. And I want to also point out in my experience that there's a difference between managing and leading. A lot of us have experience in regular business where you have a lot of managers or bosses, and a manager usually directs and a leader inspires. And that's where I've seen the most success in our really, really rapid growth, not as huge as some, but really rapid growth, way more than I was expecting. So I think there are 2 main reasons that people don't succeed at this point, and it's the mindset of a leader. And not stepping into that mindset of leadership with not having a vision or belief of themselves in being that financially wealthy or professionally successful person, or an influencer or a mentor, that person that you see on the front of the stage. Or they're operating in fear. And I run into this a lot with my coaching, a fear of maybe responsibility for other people, or of failure, being judged, looking bad to yourself or to other people, or just a fear of the unknown, or the time commitment. And for me, it was the time commitment and the energy involved because I'd been really sick. So when that shifted, it's like, oh, I get to get uncomfortable and step into something that I've never done before. So this is the big shift. And when you're building your team, when you're in that phase 2, these are the signs that you're going to see. Your group's going to become more consistent in the volume and the paychecks, which is really cool. Wow, this is really happening. Leaders begin to emerge, and your leaders begin to start teaching and supporting and assisting their new distributors. And then you get a sense of momentum. And this realness is like, I can't believe this. I wasn't really, at least for me, I wasn't really expecting, oh, could this really be true? Well, we'll see. But then when it happened, wow. So then the growth of your group also happens without you feeling like you did anything to make it happen. You feel like you can't take credit. And new names and new faces show up. And I have a couple of new distributors. I have a lot of new distributors that I haven't actually met in person yet. We met each other at Global, but I don't even know some people's faces yet. So it's just crazy. And then that's when it feels like you've kind of arrived. And then danger, Will Robinson, this is where you might quit if you don't learn how to switch gears and learn how to run your business as a leader. So I wrote down and put together 7 keys for successful phase 2 leadership, things that have been working for me. And again, it's a work in progress. And the first key is to keep doing phase 1. I learned this the hard way. That's doing that beginning work. Continue to connect, continue to build your list, continue to invite, continue to enroll. Keep learning more about the business and the system and the culture. and keep your focus on and continue to refine your vision and your goal setting so that you stay aligned with your team. And as your team grows, that's going to shift a little bit. And that's where I actually, at Global, I talked with Gabe for a minute because I'm like, okay, I'm having a hard time juggling this. How do I do this? And he actually suggested, well, you have your Monday team, you have your Tuesday team, you have your Wednesday team, and then you pick a day or 2 days a week where you actually work your own piece of the business. So the second key is to step into your new job responsibility in building your leaders. So that is committing time to cultivating and supporting your upcoming leaders so that your team can grow when you step up to that. And then learn more about the comp plan. And I'm still learning about the comp plan so that you understand it, so that you can guide your team and help them to track, to strategize, to engage in the team and business building mindset. Go through that month end. And it got kind of frantic at the end of this month, but usually I contact each of my leaders toward the end of the month in the 20s, and we look at, okay, who's going to be moving up, who's going to be ranking up, how can we help to make that happen, how can we go build some momentum, who can we maybe transition from our holding tank, things like that. And then you also want to promote personal and professional business growth. That would be in person and online, like this, and the weekly webinars and conventions, absolutely conventions, and the Connect and Impact Today website on the training page. And then you also want to empower others. The goal really, it shifts from being about you to making it not about you. It's about making others great now. And this is my new why, and I'm loving this. So I hope that you're experiencing something like that too. And then the third key is to be teachable. Step out of your comfort zone and be teachable. If you're used to having your ego in the front seat and you know what you're doing, back off a little bit, start to listen. Pay attention to what your upline's sharing with you, with a heart for understanding why your upline's sharing this and teaching you the concepts and practices, even if it's not your style. And be teachable by your downline. There are no dumb questions, and everybody has a skill. Everybody has a gift. You can learn something from every single person you're working with. You want to model an open mind. You want to be enthusiastic about what you're doing, and you want to hone in on the strengths of your team members to use their gifts to help you grow together, to help the whole team grow. So look at what areas do your individual team members do well. Help them to show the others on your team how to do that better. What areas does your team need to learn better? And how can you step up to that and learn it for yourself so that you can teach that? Or who on your team can you help develop into that so that you have that strength on your team? If you do like a DISC test, a personality test, take advantage of where people fit on the scale. Who are the analytics? Get into the numbers with them and help them help others. Who are the controllers who are used to leading? Who are the promoters who are big on the parties and the events and things like that? To help others on the team learn to do that better, even if it's not really their niche. And then the fourth key is communication. You want to be able to communicate. First, you want to understand. You want to listen sincerely to really hear what people are thinking and feeling and experiencing and asking you so that you can help them and answer those questions and help to lead them through whatever they're going through. And then also you want to seek then to be understood yourself. What are you trying to convey? Are you clear about that? Are you accessible? Are you available to your team in a way that they know they can count on you for support? And yes, there are boundaries on this. I am not available 24/7. Nobody expects that you're going to be available 24/7. Well, except maybe like Debbie as a vet. But within reason, you want to put some boundaries on it, but be respectful about it and be clear about communicating that. The fifth key is prioritize and practice balance. This for me was probably the biggest thing. And that includes a couple of different factors. One is do the most important things first. Resist grabbing the things that feel urgent or the things that are easy you can get done the quickest, because the important things are usually what you procrastinate on. And those are the things that cause discomfort, and that's where we avoid discomfort. But if you prioritize your discomfort in your mind, put that mindset around the intention for growth, and you're going to be able to get to it. And then you want to coordinate your resources by disciplining yourself on your time and energy. So you be intentional about where you're choosing to spend it. And then delegate where possible. Don't try and do everything. You have a team. Use your team. And then experiment with your time use. For me, I have a list that I use. It's kind of archaic. It's the old-fashioned style. And this is what I use for what are the things I need to do for my business, for my health coaching, for my personal life vantage business, for my team leadership. Who am I following up with? So figure out what your time use is and where your other commitments fit into there, your family, where you're volunteering, things like that, but also your personal and professional growth. Prioritize some time for that, and also your self-care. You want to renew yourself regularly. You can't run on empty. That's why we take the Nerf too, but you can't run on empty anyway. So make sure that you give yourself that personal self-care time too. The sixth key is consistent momentum. And you've heard it before, the speed of the leader is the speed of the team. So you want to continue, keep that momentum growing. And I noticed the first 2 months that we really started that big roller coaster spin, June and July, my income actually started to drop off a little bit, and we started to ebb a little bit. I'm like, what is happening? Well, it's because I was spending so much time and focus on the team and building those leaders. So keep your own speed up there too, and work together to achieve more and focus on the future. Where you focus, I teach skiing, and my girls did horses before with competition, and you're always, when you're jumping, when you're skiing around race skates, you always look way forward. You never look at the next turn. You never look at the next fence. You always look 2 or 3 ahead. And that's where you want to focus on that future so that you can keep that momentum going, because if you're looking right where that next step is, it slows you down and you falter. And then the 7th one is to model with intention. And I actually have a few little tips within this. This is choosing goal-centered leadership. Take the time to write it down and get clear on what you want for your growing organization and your team members. It's business growth time, baby. What do you want it to look like? And so there are 5 different areas that you want to pay attention to in here. And the first one is to be motivated by your clear why. Mine changed. I started with this big lofty goal, this why of I'm going to help change the world. And when I got really honest with myself, it was I wanted to prove to myself that I could do it. I'd never earned that much money before. Was it even possible? And then it changed again when I met my new downline that were ripping and rolling this. And I got to give a little bit of kudos to my teams. They are out there and they're on little groups right now. They're having parties to meet and watch this. And I really appreciate all of you guys. You're all amazing. But now what I do, my why is about my team. I'm doing this right now, right here for my team, because I want to show it's possible, and they're going to be the next ones up here. I just know it. And then they're going to be on the stage, and things are changing, and it's so exciting for me. My upline, she was telling somebody, yeah, you know, Paula gets so excited when somebody else, she kind of forgets about when she upranks, but when her team ranks, then she's like so excited, and I am. So be passionate with your effort and your practice. And when your teammates seeing you doing the work, not only will you gain their respect, but you'll give new energy to the team, and you're all going to perform better. The second one is the self-reliance. You want, at least I wanted in my team, to have self-reliance. I want to teach people how to fish. I don't want to be fishing all the time and handing out fish. How much fish can I hand out? So really teaching that self-reliance. Give my team members the tools and showing them how to use the tools, then they can go and teach this and duplicate this. This is so important, because if we can't duplicate, there's only so much energy and time that one person has. It's spread the love. Then I also want to be ethical. I want my team and my business to be ethical, and that's practicing honesty and integrity, and to be a trusted decision maker, and have an everyone can win attitude with collaboration and not competition. And confidence is another important aspect, where there's plenty of opportunities for team members to practice and improve and experience the successes that they create and help others to learn to create. And then to be knowledgeable, to be able to teach the duplication of the proven methods for success. Maybe you want to try something and experiment, but try the proven ones first. Encourage the 3-way calls, the launch calls, the in-person presentations, the opportunities to deepen the level of knowledge and how to deliver it, and participate as a budding expert. Becoming an expert is so cool and so important in succeeding. So I have 4 action steps for you. So get your pencils ready if you haven't already. The first one, create a daily priority list. that one that's manageable and success oriented. This one's mine. Yeah, it doesn't look fancy, but hey, it works. So the priority list, I'm suggesting that you have a priority list for some time with your phase 1 business building time and your phase 2 team building member or leader building time. And then whatever those other priorities are in your life, whether that's volunteering or your family or whatever, and your self-care. Second tip, develop your team communication system. Group communication at least 1 weekly to your whole team for your activity involvement so everybody's on the same page. And then individual key leader communications at least weekly for updates, questions, being accessible, reviewing your downline activity. And then the third one, the third action step is 2 personal growth actions per week. And I'm suggesting this is what I do for myself is I connect with my upline or my mentor, I actually have both, to strategize for your area of growth. And then also some training events. That could be podcasts or books or other resources that are supporting the business and leadership that you want. TEDx talks on YouTube. I watched Darren Hardy. I listened to Ray Higdon, the Connect and Impact Today website training section. All those are really great. You probably have your own. And then the last is to keep doing phase 1. Connect, invite, enroll, keep communicating. And by using these steps, these 7 tips, like a Nerf 2 activator, you're going to step into those 4 action steps and you're going to significantly reduce those 2 mindset factors that we started with, the fear and the lack of vision that might be getting in the way of your success as a leader. So make the odds more than in your favor by taking these 4 action steps. And we'll see y'all at the top.
Thank you, Paula. Woo!